Hello everyone and welcome back to Ultimate Pool. This is the latest instalment on the Ultimate Pool calendar and it's the Players' Championship. It should be a fantastic 3 days and right now what you're about to watch is the day one highlights. This is how it works. 32 players starting out in this competition. We'll see the first 16 today across 4 groups of 4 and Champions League style. They'll all play each other in those groups. It's the top 2 that qualify through to Championship Sunday, where we play down from the last 16. Hope that's all nice and clear for you. It should be a fantastic competition and day one certainly delivered. To kick off day one, our opening groups saw Hitan Patel, Greg Batten, Sean Story and Callum Singleton.
Big break here for Greg. Get himself to always hit that poor. Yeah, just I can't even finish my sentence. He's hit that one so poor.
Once you gave him the big build-up, that couldn't have gone much worse.
But that was an opportunity to, players expect to break clear. That's their mentality when they walk to the table. And if he managed to do that there, 2-0 up, and you're into the final 5 minutes of the match, that's quite big. But I mean, he hit that probably. That may well be the worst break he hits in this group. He'll hope it is.
Yeah, I was just about to say the very same. He'll certainly hope it is.
He hit it so bad, though, it's a congested bottom end of the table, and that's going to give Callum plenty to think about here. Sort of needs to get rid of the red nearest the bottom left-hand corner pocket. He wants to do it before getting rid of the red over left centre, because he wants to use that one to connect to the one that's probably the most problematic, which is the one on the cushion. It's just a bit of a fiddly layout at the bottom here. Yeah, the red in the triangle area actually has the most problems. He pulls back for it in the centre now. He'll want to have I think, a very straight angle on it, just top through. Yeah, it's clever playing it that way, using the yellow to essentially guarantee himself the shot he wants. That's not good. I was about to ask the question of whether the 8-ball passed the yellow, and the way he played that shot to me may tell us that it's tight, simply because I think he was playing the cannon on the yellow there just to bump it across and stay on the one to the centre. So we'll find out in a minute, because he should get to the 8-ball now. Although saying that, he's got more angle than I thought into this pot, so he can't avoid a cannon. Controlled that well. Okay, so he's going bottom left. Oh, this is tough.
Oh, how do you like these?
This is seriously, he was trying to move the yellow previously.
And that was tough. Hasn't even got second prize, really, in terms of locking up the pocket. A couple of nearly moments for Callum Singleton, and that is the case, in this format where you have a couple of nearly moments and, well played and all that, but you will just lose the match. It's just that cutthroat a format.
He's been a little fortunate in terms of he's absolutely not left Greg a great opportunity here to counter, and it's not tricky to play a good safety. Certainly giving Greg plenty to think about, and obviously time is ticking. Yeah, I mean, in the end he's played a sort of nothing shot, which was kind of run out of ideas and played where he was absolutely guaranteeing not leaving Callum anything easy. But when you give great players full sight of the 8-ball, they get creative. doing then for Callum? All about a cannon at the top of the table for Greg. Those two yellows blocking each other. Does he have the angle straight away? Doesn't need much, just a little bump into it. And that will do.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's very nice. And it feels like there's not been much sort of way of sort of traditional action, if you like, in this opening match. And yet, Greg Batten is on his way to winning it.
Shot clock now.
Final 5 minutes, 15 seconds a shot, and Greg Batten, barring something very silly, is going to go 2-0 in front. Just getting caught a little bit.
Yeah, that was nearly the something silly.
It nearly was the something silly. And how often do we see it on the transition? The 30 to the 15, that was the first shot he played at 15 seconds a shot, and almost caught him out. Fortunately for him, it was a fairly routine shot. Job done then for Greg Batten. If he doesn't find a shot here, Callum's got 30 to 40 seconds to clear up and leave himself a potential chance to clear up off a dry break from Greg, so it isn't actually all over here. What's he got? 114, so needs it to be quick. Yeah, needs this to be 30 seconds from here.
55 seconds remain.
Played the plan. No good with the positional side.
Cool, bang. What a shot.
How about that? Always looks like more entertaining when it's so casual as well, because he's sort of just throwing his arm at it, because essentially he feels like the match is over. But what's he going to leave? Needs the cue ball to stop quick. Okay, it's world record time we're talking about right now. 27 seconds left. It's just about doable, but it is the change to the cut break as well to keep things a little bit more controlled. And that will be that.
Callum concedes that will ice the match for Greg Batten. And the Pac-Man gets the job done. And with how much he enjoys the fast and furious elements of Ultimate Pool, I'm expecting Sean to go quite well this weekend, but he's got to get out of the group first. It starts with a match against Hitton Patel. Hit that break beautifully, did Sean, but he's not had any friends emerge from it. And Hitton's going to get first poke at these, and at first sight, Si, it looks like a pretty presentable layout for Hitton Patel.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is better than the layouts that Callum had to go at. That was the problem that Callum had, that the chances he had in the first two frames were awkward and tricky, and especially when you're cold, first match of the tournament, it's difficult out there, and he'd love to have had a chance at this sort of level. But wow, that will probably be the widest miss of the tournament. That was a long way off, and even Hitton allows himself to have a little smile at that one. That was a long way away. I think coming into this weekend, as we have another look at this, it's a long way off. I think that Hitton would have been the outsider of this group, but he went so well last time we were in Blackpool for the Pro Series, you know, making the semi-finals, looking back to his best after a really poor run where he was really struggling for a form and you felt the confidence was really low. But that run in Blackpool will give him so much confidence. You feel like he comes into this, and it's more of a reason why I think this group is so tough to call, is because you feel you can make such a case for all 4 players.
Well, we'll show you some of the other groups across the next 10 minutes or so. It's a spicy old lineup this week at the Players' Championships.
Yeah, there are some very eye-catching groups as we go deeper into the weekend, I can tell you.
Group 8 is a farce.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying on the matter for now.
So Hitton missed his first ball, but it remained a very good opportunity. Slightly easier opener for Sean. Obviously, Hitton did have that really easy opener to bottom right, and he could have taken it, but wanted to keep it where it was for positional purposes. But this is exactly what Sean would have wanted. I suppose you probably have to say that coming into this group that Sean would have to be the marginal favourite, although as we talked about, it's so tight to call. The reason being that he has silverware with Ultimate Pool. He's been up to the #2 rankings after year 1. Down year last year, by his own admission, although a lot going off the table for him. Became a father for the first time, and life changed dramatically, but I think the practice is back under full kind of swing for him now, and I expect for the rest of the season Sean to be a lot sharper than we saw from him last year. I do think he'll be a danger this weekend.
Oh. Well, the only dangerous thing that Sean's produced there is that shot.
The surprise to me, he's missed it thick, and I thought if he was going to miss it, he might miss it thin because he wanted to make sure he didn't hit the yellow. Missing it thin would have guaranteed that, but he's missed it on the thick side and come up short, a little bit short on the positional side because of it. Hitton's was a surprise because of how far he missed it by, but Sean's was just a surprise because he's missed it. It was regulation ball. Hitton's taken a little bit of a risk playing that off the red. He didn't need to. It would have slid, you know, he could have slid that one in, you know, natural. Didn't need the top left-hand corner for these final 2 yellows, and well, the red's gone in and got in the mix with the yellows at the bottom of the table, which is, well, you can see he's taken a few extra seconds here because it's given a little bit more to think about. Oh, it's poor safety. This is a disappointing start for Hitton, who would have come in with such high hopes. First couple of visits to the table been a little bit scratchy, but that will happen for a lot of players this weekend. Trying to get onto the red into the centre pocket. So he loaded that one up with side. Not quite got down far enough. Not even sure if he can clip this in now. I think it's too thin. So probably the double if the yellow isn't in the way. I think he can certainly get to the top half of the pocket, but I'm not sure about the bottom half. So it's certainly tight. You can see there how tight it is. Oh, he could cut it in. Oh, that's a brilliant shot. Very nicely done for Sean.
Extension called.
Is there room? No, to go for the... Oh, how about that? Well, this is, well, outrageous, let's be honest. This is... I mean, it flies in.
That's pretty special.
It really is.
Yeah.
He's got some
Not
issues
getting
still,
many
though.
of those.
Hard to get on the red he's nearest to, actually, even though it's hanging over the pocket.
Yeah, that was tough.
Oh, no.
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 Oh, that's the best 2 shots in a row we've ever seen.
And he's landed plumb as well. Make your mind up which one of these two is the best, Fluke. I'm having the second one. That's even more outrageous.
Fluke? I've got Chris Melling on call. I'm telling him he's out of a job. The Hitton Patel exhibition is here. Top left. Oh, boring.
Tell you what,
This will hurt.
It will hurt. It's all fun and games.
Well,
penny for his thoughts.
Yeah, he's not the only joker in the house at the minute, because Hitton Patel has taken the Mickey Mouse.
Sorry.
Yeah, you better apologise, Hitton.
Wow.
I mean, this is astonishing.
He's a little bit embarrassed here.
Well, I think he should be a lot embarrassed. This first shot, I mean, is a pretty extraordinary fluke. The second is, this is one of the best flukes I've ever seen. This is amazing.
It's right up there. I mean, it really is. It's a trick shot, isn't it? It really is. We'll see that on social media for a while now. That shot,
get
but
Carl
I mean,
Morris on the blur. Look north, want another shoot.
Yeah.
1 minute 17. It's 2-2.
Make a ball. Make sure you're the only one that can win the match. That's the first thing here.
Cracking break. Can't hit much better than that.
Oh, needs a ball.
Oh,
Look at this
sure.
layout. 2 of his 3 breaks have left absolute perfect layouts for Hitton. He got the last one all wrong, but I feel like he's in a slightly better mind space having won that previous frame in such good fashion.
Yellow ball's in play.
Just half a turnover on that. No, he's okay. Just drop it in. Yeah, really nice. Don't think he needs to do too much here. Just try and get on the one by his hand. A full ball cannon would have been better. It would have left him straight in on the yellow to top right, but he's still okay. Just needs to cue a good one in here. What's he left, Sean? 21 seconds.
Surely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be.
Hitton's still got time, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the wisest course of action from Sean Story. 9 seconds.
Yeah, come on.
Hitton
you've
could
got
have
time.
a poke at the 8 ball. Just give it a whack. Your luck's in. What's going to happen? Not to be.
Match time.
Well, that's, in so many ways, it's one of the more extraordinary matches we've seen in quite a long time. Took the thin one on. And Greg Batten runs aground. Be disappointed with that. It looked like he was in great shape to take that first frame.
I'm surprised by the mistake not getting the contact on the yellow when he played the cannon, simply because it was a big target, cushion first. He missed it by
Hitton.
a whisker, but I am surprised.
Hitton seems to have played that with a little bit of, well, cannon into it and something will come out.
He's actually still okay, though. He just needs to get top side of the red by his hand. Well, he's going to go the other way around. He's going to match play it, so he's going to play the loss of turn now, and he's guaranteed the snooker on the yellow in the middle of the table. But he could have got top side of the red on the left-hand side, played that off the yellow, and that would have also opened it up, but he didn't have a good ball to get there, so can't argue with his decision-making, but you are just giving Greg a chance to hit this solid off one cushion, and you never know. That should be the end of that. Wonder which way round Hitton will play this. The problem is if he plays on the plant here, when he plays it, the red will go away from the pocket. He's played into it. Yeah. Yeah, it's worked out nicely. Always dangerous moving balls, but it wasn't as guaranteed a little layout as you kind of think it should be. Oh, that's a poor one, though. That's a really poor shot from Hitton. He should still be okay. He should just be able to cushion first this, and it's just controlling the cue ball. Plenty of places to get on the 8 ball here, but...
yeah. He's had a couple of nudges this morning as Hitton Patel.
Well, his problem is, and it always has been really, he doesn't quite have the control with the cue ball that some of the other players have. He often has the ability to pot himself out of trouble because he's a fabulous potter. But if he could just tighten that cue ball up a touch, then it makes him so dangerous, and that's why we see those runs for him every now and then. He pops up in a semi-final.
Really ought to play for.
My head hurts just trying to do all those calculations to work out what on earth can happen in this group.
Yeah, don't fancy that.
I like Greg's position because it's simple for him, win and he's through. But other than that, it's really tough to work out what can happen. Obviously, the 4-way 6 red shootout still a possibility. 2 to qualify makes things so much more chaotic.
Don't mind that. It's okay.
Yeah, red by the 8 ball. The issue here. The one directly below the 8 ball, I think that passes the yellow. Might be tight. If it does pass the yellow, it makes things a lot easier. If it doesn't pass, then that little cluster of 3 becomes an issue as well. So, bottom end of the table, the problem.
I didn't think he had to plan that. I thought that slid by, but he's played that very well.
Partly, but I think 2 reasons for doing it. One, just because it holds the cue ball better. If he plays it natural, he comes down the table quite a lot. But also, that red going down towards the bottom right-hand corner helps him deal with the 3 at the bottom of the table. I think he's absolutely straight on this one, which isn't great. May have wanted an extra turn down the table. Had just enough to force it, but forcing like that just takes away a little bit of the control. If he turns an extra turn down the table on the previous shot,
it's simple.
It's a lot simpler because he can roll through and get the half ball on the reds, keeping himself better on this one at the bottom. But in all honesty, I think he'll be fairly happy with the way that's come out.
Yeah, it's not terrible at all. Can hold that one pretty comfortably.
Second shot clock now in play.
He won't be delighted to be flush on the cushion here. That much I can tell you for free.
It's just having to dig, though. That's the problem. If he's 1 turn off the cushion, it makes life so much easier. The angle's good, though, so it just has to basically just hold it.
Played it well. get out of dodge here, Greg Batten. We're into the final 5 minutes of this match. 15-second shot clock in full force. And for the man who just needs to win to qualify, he's in a pretty good shape to do just that. He leads by 2 frames to 1.
Oh, crunched it. Yeah, deserved the ball, gets one.
30 seconds then, hit, and off you go.
Oh, that final red coming down the left-hand side just made a mess.
Yellows aren't terrible.
Yeah, one problem, but you could play the double to the bottom corner. Oh, I tried to develop it. I was thinking you could play the double last ball and maybe make it like a free hit. Yeah, he's going to, worst case, get the draw out of it.
Oh, close effort. 12 seconds. It's not possible, Craig. Just getting his steps in, I think, there is the Pac-Man. So that one also finishes as a draw. Well, well, well. 2 each. And this group is completely up in the air as the Players' Championship continues after this. Callum Singleton needs a win. That much is very simple, very clear.
Yellow ball's nominated.
You're telling me in the break, Si, that you think it's possible that Callum could qualify with a draw, but let's not cross that barrier until we come to it.
No,
Let's keep it very simple. Callum needs to win.
Callum needs to win. Callum cannot. Callum cannot qualify with a draw as well.
Oh, thank you.
That. Greg Batten's already on 3 points. Callum gets a draw, he gets to 2, but Hitton gets to 3. Callum has to win.
Right. This is why we let the table do the talking for us.
But equally, Hitton loses and he can no longer qualify as well, because same deal. He will be stuck on 2. Callum will be on 3. Greg's already on 3. So the win is really important for both. Hitton, there is a chance with a draw, but not a defeat.
Yeah, Greg Batten feeling pretty comfortable right now, but
well, you say that because
you say, yeah, I'm with you.
We'll look at the league table at the end of this frame. But if Hitton was to lose this match, then yeah, there's every chance that. Sorry, if Hitton was to win this match, there's every chance that Greg's out. If he loses his final match, he is out. So it's all very, very tight, though. It's ridiculous how this group has gone. Especially considering we've got 2 unbeaten players as well. Excuse me, 3 unbeaten players. Nicely done this from Callum.
Yeah, I really like the way he's gone around it.
Takes it long and no mistakes. Carl Cope and Luke Gilbert, 2 of the best youngsters around. Luke Gilbert really making a big step up, and obviously Josh Kane, who is capable of so much brilliance. It's another cracking group. Slightly dead break, this one. It didn't really explode on him particularly well. I don't think he hit that so cleanly, came across it a fraction. But it still made a ball, so he's still in with a chance here. We haven't seen anyone really be able to separate today. It's never been more than a frame in it, and Hitton's got an opportunity to go 3-1 up here and get that little bit of separation, which will really help him. Yellow's the choice. Cue ball's key, as it always is, but the yellows all have pockets, which is why he's picked the yellows, but he's got to get nicely onto one of the 2 yellows on the left-hand side to be able to then come down the table, take the one to bottom right. We'll want to get rid of the one, I think, out from right centre out the way. Otherwise, you're going to have to go from the one below the 2 reds to that one right centre. It's easier to get on the 8 ball, although still not particularly easy. Just come on, either come on and off the cushion, or just screw this back near the straight. He's overdone this. He's overdone this, but I'm still not sure how he's hit that cap.
Time running.
Don't think he needed to try and get... I mean, the way he's played that, he must have been playing to cannon the red and hold himself on the yellow nearest the cushion. But I think it'd have been okay if he just played almost to the middle of the table. If he gets 2 or 3 turns left as we look to the middle of the table, then you play the right hand one of the 2 yellows on and off the cushion, get straight on the other yellow, and then you're sort of dealt with those problems. Hit and saw it a different way, and it's very unfortunate it's going off. Cannon and either red really would have put him in a decent position. Has he come far enough to be able to pot the one nearest the pocket? I don't think so. Well, he's down quickly, so he must be happy, and he's played that beautifully. And you can almost sense a little step up in pace here, I think, from Callum as well.
Yeah, completely. Always trying to fight his way into rhythm.
Yes. Obviously the benefit for doing it quickly as well, keep as much time on the clock to get himself as much time as possible to get in front. Because remember, the draw's not enough for him, but I agree with you. I think it's more about the rhythm. He's got to find some out there.
Oh, Greg's going to go. Braver man than me. Yellows are absolutely dead in the water, make no mistake. You'd rather be reds. But what are you going to do about that 8 ball?
Reds aren't too bad if you can get on the red to left centre. You should be able to pop open the 8 ball. So, yeah, you can make the case for the clearance here. The hardest one actually is maybe getting on the one on the cushion. Get on it nicely enough. If the 2 at the top were your last 2 balls, you would want to be on the one on the cushion before you play the the breakout.
That means breaking out the 8 ball last.
Yeah, but you're breaking it out with control. I think it's very much on, because you come on and off the cushion and just bump into the yellow. So if he can get behind, you know, if he gets close to straight as he possibly can on the one on the cushion now, he just has to top through, and just short of straight on the red to left centre is perfect. And it's a very controllable cannon.
Yeah, I like the way Greg's gone about this. It's been a lovely route. It still requires some executing.
And this is fine. This is a nice enough. We'll get him off the cushion. He's just got to judge the pace of the cue ball here. The last thing he wants is to reach the straight. He wants to be just short of it. About there is plumb perfect.
It's a lovely part there from Greg back.
Yeah.
Controlled the cue ball nicely as well.
I think the natural is ideal here, and if not, it's just a trace aside. The cushion, just the softest bump into the yellow.
Yeah, perfect. Little thin on the 8 ball, but he's grand. What a lovely visit to the table from Greg Batten. That looked like a frame that may take a little while to work out, but Greg went for it aggressively and got out of dodge.
Needs a ball, and he's not going to get one.
That will be that.
Yeah, and he goes back to his chair knowing it as well. It's a strange one, really. I feel like both players were breaking better from the front ball, but not getting the success from it. They've gone to the cut break, immediately got the success, but now the last couple, it's not really happened for them.
Yeah, I said I think it was in Sean's first match, might have even been the second, but that he just had to persist with the break that he was hitting the front ball because it was so good, he wasn't getting results, but odds were that it was going to be favourable for him.
He's been gifted an extra opportunity here from Greg, and he's going to dig pretty hard to try and take the most of it. He needs to leave 45, maybe even a minute if he can.
So Greg's break next, remember. Oh, this is an unbelievable effort from Sean. He might go close to getting out here, which...
He might be able to get the cannon here. No, not quite. Not quite. Ooh, it's just come a little thin. It's come a little thin to be able to play any sort of breakout here. This is tough.
Just a joke. What a game you play.
Yeah, I think plenty will sympathise with those sentiments. Sean Storey concedes, and you can see the frustration for autopilot there. It's Greg Batten who qualifies through alongside Hitan Patel.
Group 2 on the way next, and it's a belter. Kyle Cope, Luke Gilbert, Chris Melling and Josh Killer Kane.
Here we go then, we are ready to get going in group number 2, and it is 2 Ultimate Pool champions. We've got Luke Gilbert, who for me is obviously riding high, top of his generation, one of the best young players in the game to get us underway. And I would normally say he has one of the best breaks in the game, but it comes up dry, almost on cue. But he is up against one of the all-time greats in the game, and he is still riding high at the top of the game as well. Chris Melling, who, well, right from the very start with Ultimate Pool, he won the very first tournament, and he has never let up. He has won every single season with Ultimate Pool, and he is relentless, really. I think one of the things that surprised himself, probably more than anything else, is his level of consistency has been incredible.
Yeah, definitely. You know that with Chris, and obviously as well he's continuing to prove his sort of multi-cue sport talents. Obviously he went over to the Louisiana Open, Ultimate Pool USA's first tournament, and won that. So he shows he knows how to win across all the formats.
Yeah, he is incredible the way he chops and changes his game. And I don't think, I mean, we saw a very awkward first few matches in that opening group, early morning and everything else, and the players all probably came in with such high hopes, and it just played out quite awkward and tight. I don't think we're going to see the same here with Chris playing. He's normally just hits the ground running. He's capable of so much brilliance that you do expect to see quite a lot of finishes, and a lot will come down to chances here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that excites me about this group is all 4 players are very attacking. They like to get on with it, don't like to do much of the sort of tactical side of it. So I think we're going to see quick matches, quick frames, quick clearances like this one. And we know Chris likes to crack on with it, doesn't like to hang around. If the clearance is there, he won't think about anything. He'll just get straight on, play off instinct and rattle frames off.
Just slid on him off that first cushion a touch more than he thought. All 4 players in this group are so good. It's a strange question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? And Chris Melling's the favourite for this group, of course, with all the titles he's won. But do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing for Luke Gilbert that he plays in first?
I think if he wins, it's good. If he loses, it's bad.
That's exactly the answer I thought you'd give, to be honest with you. It's absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I think obviously whoever you play, you just want to try and get your chance in first, so you can get your arm going. Feel like you get into the match. Obviously, Chris has sort of closed out the first frame quickly, and obviously this is Luke's first chance. Obviously not an ideal late. He's moved the red next to the black, so he might feel he's not fully in position yet. He's still sort of half chasing it. Good shot here if he can get through to that yellow, get back in position. But I don't think it's obviously if he you know gets the win, then obviously it's not a bad thing. But I think ultimately, you know, the ultimate target for every player is going to be top 2, ideally first place, but top 2, and you want to just not really think about too much about who you're playing, just get the wins on the board.
Yeah, agreed. It's not been the cleanest visit, this, from Luke. I think he's just a sense of him in this shot he's just played. He can't believe how much reaction he got. I think he's just struggling to put the cue ball where he wants to, but obviously he's been so wide open, he's been able to just keep going. He's still going to make the finish.
like he was chasing it through a little bit. I think that just stemmed from the first shot where he just pushed the red away from the black, but he took them out and he'd be really happy to get that first frame on the board. Coming up short just makes it difficult.
So it tries to load up with side to try and check it off the cushion, but it's never really going to play. Does the cushion first work? That's what he's looking at. The double, he can't double it into bottom right, but he can cushion first it. The line's there.
Yeah, and I think it's not. Obviously, with the black being close, it should get close with this, I think.
Not to be. That could be a big moment in this match. Stops and shakes his head. He's not happy again. I think that's probably to do with the contact. I think he was expecting to be a little bit further up the table.
Yeah, it's both players sort of struggling a little bit with the cue ball.
Wow, that's a... Well, mark that one down. I can't believe he's missed that. But he's missed it by miles. Was that a skiddy kick or something? He missed it by so far that I mean...
Yeah, it went so thick, you can only assume it was a kick. It went so thick, but...
Will it reach? We saw two of the most outrageous flukes in the first group from Hit and Patel back to back. Let's have another look at this one. Make your own mind up. But just that Chris Manning doesn't miss pots by that far. That's the only reason. It's so hard to tell from replay. You get those ones that just, they don't really, you don't see an explosion. It just doesn't go at the right angle. It's like a skiddy kick, isn't it?
Yeah, it just goes straight on. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was that far away. You can only assume that it was a kick, but that was a mistake though.
Yeah, and this time Luke should make this one. Snookered, yes, but he should make this. Yeah, excellent shot from Luke, and well, two missed opportunities from Chris. The first one, maybe we can let him off for the kick, but that one, okay, it was a tough pot he was taking on, but he shouldn't have been on it as tough as he was. So strange things happening out there after such a brilliant start from Chris, expecting him to really fly. He has to hope that Luke continues to go dry, and he hasn't. That's what we're used to seeing from Luke Gilbert. Look at that break.
Yeah, big break that was.
A lot spoken about the break. You know, a lot of people have a huge amount of power. You know, people rave about Tom Cousins' break and a few others quite rightly, but Luke really has that control with his break, and he's right up there with anybody in the game for me.
Yeah, I think what Luke has, he probably doesn't quite have the power of a Tom Cousins, but I think he has that timing.
Yeah.
I think for the timing that he has, he generates a lot of power, and that's why I think he gets a lot of the pack moving and exploding. And yeah, I think he's very consistent with the break as well. You very rarely see him hit a bad one, so it's definitely a good asset. What angle has he got here? What line is the cue ball going to take? Out the line, but it's just a few inches short for that.
And it all comes down to a simple positional shot where he was trying to leave himself straight on this ball that we're looking at, that he's on now, and he came back like a huge percentage too far. You know, he was trying to come back, what, 3-4 inches, and he came back about 12.
Yeah, and I think it's a good example of what both players have been struggling with. They've both been short and long, and just don't seem to have got to grips with the table yet. And especially for two players who cue the ball so well as well.
This time it's worked out nicely for Chris. You want to absolutely make sure of this. There are times for Chris, because he finds the game, you know, he'll tell you the game is so easy to him, and even plays like it's easy to him, that every now and then you from the commentary box, you think, has he just switched off concentration a fraction, and maybe that second visit of the previous frame was one of those. He won't allow himself to do that again.
Yeah, like I say, his brain works so fast. Is it a case of sometimes he's playing four shots ahead already, you know, before he's even played the one that's in front of him. But
yeah, he's struggling with the cue ball. It's exactly what you just said. He's struggling with the cue ball, as is Luke. Again, he's only trying to move the cue ball in a turn, and he's gone 2 turns. They both look confused.
Yeah, and it's not like they're both consistently under-hitting or over-hitting. You know, one shot they're under-hitting, next shot they're overdoing it. It's maybe just not sort of quite got to grips with it yet. Yeah, it's frustrating when that happens as well, because if you overhit one, the next shot you kind of think, right, be a bit careful, take a bit off it, and then you underhit it and you feel like you're chasing it all the time. And it can get very frustrating.
Chris doing the right things, running the clock down, knows he's won this frame, and he's just running the clock down enough to guarantee the victory. We're under the minute now. He will have to make a ball off the break, otherwise Luke will have a fighting chance of that quick clearance, but it won't be long. Will he spin it? We've seen him do it before. No, not even entertaining it. 36 seconds he's left, but he has the break. And it is Josh Kane to get us underway. 20 minutes race to 4, as you are all aware. A little shuffle around as we see an excellent opening break here from Josh in the commentary box, because I've got one of the players already through to the last 16, which must sound pretty good. Greg, how are you?
Yeah, no, really good. Nice and relaxed now after that, and nice to be able to watch everybody else sweat it out over the course of the next couple of days. So yeah,
well, it's such an interesting format, really, because yeah, normally you kind of get yourself into the whatever round, and then you might have a couple hours, or maybe even in the morning, but you've got a day and a half here to chill out. Yeah,
no, it's certainly different, and I'll probably stick around because of the long journey. So yeah, just gonna relax now and enjoy the weekend. So another brilliant standard in terms of the players we've got in this second group, and as you say, what a fantastic break from Josh. I think I know I was, and I think everybody else in my group was really struggling with the break, but these guys seem to have got it nailed already. So
it just felt like because it was such a tight group all the way through, and it just felt like every frame felt like the clearances were awkward and not easy. There was a problem to solve and not easy ways to do it. Whereas there was, I can't remember a single split like this in the whole group, really.
Yeah, and especially with these when they're such short races, normally you find that it's very open. We see that in the Champions League every week. It's normally pretty open. So perhaps it was just because it was the first group, and everyone was a little bit nervous. I'm not sure, but yeah, nice to see everything open now for Josh. And you would have thought, providing he can keep control of the cue ball, he should be able to get this first frame on the board. And obviously, first to 4, as we know, it's so important to get that first frame if you can. It just settles you down straight away, and that's what Josh will be hoping to do. Table is playing super quick.
Did you find it tough to control the cue ball at times? Because we've just seen the first match, and I'm not sure, I know you were getting changed after your session, but with Chris and Luke, it just felt like they were both just struggling, and you could go by obviously you can see they weren't quite where they wanted to be on the table, but their facial expressions almost looked like they were surprised at not being able to control it.
Yeah, I had a chat with a couple of the players in my group earlier, Callum and Hitton, and it doesn't matter what table you play on at home or in the club where you live, you cannot replicate these conditions. This table just plays completely different to anything we play on. It is super quick, lightning quick, and yeah, the cushions just play so slidey, and so it does take quite a bit of getting used to. But it's one of those things. If you're cueing really well and you're confident, then everything just flows. But as soon as you run out of position, just by a millimetre, you're chasing that finish, and then it's really difficult.
He's one of those players that he knows how good he can play, and he gets so frustrated. Probably, oh, has that hurt Kyle? No, he's okay. But Josh just gets more frustrated than he probably should, and sometimes he can allow that to affect his future frames and his future performances. And sometimes you just have to accept you can't play perfect ball, and mistakes are going to happen, and move on.
Yeah, as you say though, Josh is such a good player, and yeah, he probably just gets maybe slightly frustrated, and as you say, you have to keep a level head, keep calm, and realise that you cannot play perfect all the time. You're going to make mistakes. In my case, lots of them. But you have to just manage that and be prepared for the next opportunity.
Well, Carl's just landed off angle here.
Yeah, is he able to soft screw this one in? Or is he going to have to go around the angles? Looks like he's screwing it.
Oh, that's not ideal.
Surely he didn't play for that in the... Well, if he's played for it in the bottom, then he's short, but can he nip the white enough? Yeah, rolling it was very, very tricky. Not sure about that. I think Josh is now in a good spot. The only problem for this is Josh can't really play a telling snooker because it's an easy up and down for Kyle, so he's going to go for it. Needs to be lucky.
I think he'll take that. It's not ideal, it's far from ideal, but he's got a shot.
Yeah, rather that than giving Kyle another opportunity.
3 minutes left all of a sudden as well.
Natural angle just to swing it around 2 cushions.
Oh, wow.
Goodness me, what's going on?
Oh, wow. Oh, a huge piece of fortune. Now, it shouldn't be too difficult for Kyle to make this off 1 cushion.
No, but he's been doubly lucky and
yeah.
the red has come over the middle pocket, so...
Yeah, there's 2 problems to solve. Oh, so good.
Nice, yeah, very
Played it with pace, deliberately played it 2 cushions as well. Okay, 8 ball that just needs some attention, but he'll be pleased that he has it. And in the heart.
Josh will be in his seat absolutely fuming because that's 2 or 3 chances now this frame that he should have got the win, and then he's having a smile to himself. He knows.
Make a big break and give himself a great chance.
And he broke those massive, but unfortunately, as the way it normally is, when you've missed an opportunity, the pool gods, as it were, don't forgive you.
No, and I often say that's a little bit of a myth, and it's down, you know, you don't quite hit the break as well, but he's flushed that. He's hit that so well.
Certainly hit that with as much power and as accurately as he did the last couple. So, yeah.
Even make the case that was a little bit more accurate. He had the cue ball absolutely perfect there.
Yeah.
It's not an absolute guarantee, certainly not at 15 seconds a shot here for Kyle Cope, but he's the one with a chance as we go into the final 2 minutes. Yellow on the left-hand side near the centre pocket, the biggest issue.
I think it comes down to your own thinking, actually, in terms of the break sometimes, because I'm sure many players have had it when they're playing in their club or whatever, and they're completely relaxed and they're feeling positive and they're almost saying to themselves in the mind, I'm going to get a few balls here, and they do, and you keep doing it, but then as soon as you put a bit of pressure on yourself and you think, oh, I might not get a ball now, you don't.
I know, it's...
I don't know if there's some truth in that, but...
it certainly feels like it. The double shouldn't be too much of a problem if that's what he decides to play on. He might not quite have the angle to get straight enough to top behind it down the cushion, so we'll see how he goes. Might just be okay.
From this, yeah, from the camera angle on top, I think he's going to leave the double unless he can manipulate this. Yeah, just
double it is. But with, well, I suppose with 48 seconds left, there is just enough time for Josh to counter. So you've got to be careful here. But right in the heart. One of those doubles you fully expect him to make every time.
Yeah, it was certainly a nice, comfortable one, even in the situation. And Kyle will be delighted with this win because he would have thought a couple of minutes ago he wasn't going to get it.
No, he would have been thinking, oh no, I've missed my chance to go 2-2 and I'm going to go 3-1. All of a sudden he's got another opportunity, made it 3-2 in front thanks to that reverse clearance, and he has the break. Not so much because it's a 2 to qualify from 4, but it's still huge. And this is going to be a golden duck to get us underway. Kyle Cope straight away finds himself 1-0 down, and I'm rejoined by Greg Batten. What a way to start this match.
Yeah, he's going to be ill with that. My goodness.
The wry smile on your face as a fellow player and competitor up there, it's the worst way to lose a frame of ball.
Yeah, it really is. And he's smiling. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
He does need Chris Melling to win this match, so it's the start that he wanted to see. It was close again for Kyle. No dramas though, stays on the table and he gets himself a good opportunity. But just to finish off on what I was saying for Luke Gilbert, if Chris Melling wins this match, and he will then need him to win his final match as well, which would be against Josh Kane. Chris would go to 6 points, Josh Kane would stay on 2, and then he has to beat Kyle Cope to get himself to 2, and the 3-way 6-thread shootout for second place in the group. It is the only way that Luke Gilbert can make it through. Big difference to Monday night though, Greg, isn't it? There's still hope after losing the first 2 games.
Yeah, exactly that. Obviously with the 2 going through, does make a big difference. Keeps you interested, even if you do get off to a bad start. And Luke will be probably out there keeping an eye on this, hoping that Chris can win. I
mean, considering you need every result to go your way, it could be worse asking Chris Melling to win every match he plays and then win your final game. It's not as crazy as it could be.
No, exactly right. And yeah, if you could choose somebody, you'd want Chris in the seat playing for you for sure. This, however, has gone slightly awry for Kyle, because how does he get on to? Oh, he's going to play on it now. So thin off this red, off this yellow. Yeah, very nicely done. Just needs it to stop. Did not want to be on the cushion there, because now he's got an option. He can just stun out to the centre of the table, and he should be home and dry. Very nice. Nice response this from Kyle.
Yeah, very good response, isn't it? Excellent break and very smoothly dealt with as well. Very nice. First opportunity in the match for him, and he makes sure of it.
Yeah, it's definitely in Chris's hands, isn't it, at the moment? So.
How about that for a break? It's so eye-catching when the players park the cue ball absolutely stone dead in the middle of the table. Look at that. It's actually really hard to do with the way the balls are and the cloths are these days, to be able to park that cue ball like that.
Red balls in play.
He's cued that so well.
And he's not going to hang about here. This is going to be ultra quick, this break clearance. I think this will be, without doubt, the quickest break clearance so far. It might end the day as the quickest break clearance. That was very, very quick for Chris Melling.
Let's see what he's got for us.
He has a box of tricks that he is trying to open up right now.
Look at this.
Oh, Chris. Oh, wow. Wow, you can't believe it. The minute he hit that, I thought that was in. And he knows it. Wow. And he's made a big pocket to the top right as well, just to make things worse for him as well, just to make Kyle's finish even easier. Just over the 5 minutes left. We're about to go into the 15 seconds a shot.
Yeah. And with Kyle to break for the match, this is now crucial that he just takes his time, takes these out nicely, and then gives himself the best possible chance in the decider. He'll be hoping for another break, like he has been. Chris will be ruining that mistake, positional error, which we didn't expect.
Yeah, very clean and clinical here from Kyle, and well, match of the day for me right now. This has been fabulous. Therefore he's through. Also, Luke Gilbert's eliminated with anything else other than a Chris Melling victory. A lot on the line for all 4 players. I'll cope with the break, 4:20 to play. And it's his worst break of the day. Almost seemed a little bit timid on that one. He didn't seem to hit it quite as clean.
Just a slight bit of head movement. Directly and off.
And look what he's left as well. I mean, when I say it was his worst break, I mean, they've opened up beautifully. He's still hit with power. He lost the control. Not quite as much as he did in previous breaks in terms of power, but just slightly mistimed. It's still opened up like an absolute dream here for Chris Melling.
Yeah, and Kyle is experienced enough to know that if you go directing off, then you can't really expect to come back to the table.
And it's another loose positional shot from Chris. He's playing on the yellow straight into the corner, and he's overdone it by, well, six inches or so. Don't expect it to be a problem for him, of course.
So just top this one in off the cushion. And what a game this has been. Great standard. Just a couple of breaking errors from Kyle. It's cost him this match.
Yeah, fabulous though from both players. What a treat to watch that match. High quality, high class from both. It is the magician though that gets the reverse clearance in the decider, and he gets himself to the top of the table. Everybody, all three of them, can finish on 2 points, and therefore it's a three-way six-red shootout. But all that, we'll explain it all. We'll get the table back up very shortly. Let's just focus on this match quickly before we do that. It is going to be Luke Gilbert versus Kyle Cope, and I'm joined by Lewis Roberts for this one. Lewis, this group has got all of a sudden very interesting, although it was very interesting right from the start. We're 2 matches away. All 4 players can still qualify.
Yeah, and let's face it, we want to see a 6-red, don't we? Let's be honest.
I think there's a high chance of it in this group. It really is. I think the way it's not a 6-red is if Kyle Cope gets something out of this match and Chris Melling wins the last one, then that's. But otherwise, there's 2 ways of having 3-way 6-red shootouts here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if we do get that scenario. It'd be a nice bit of drama, but. Kyle's getting off to a good start here. He's had a good split, decent layout. Got that awkward yellow on the left to look at that he's just going to screw across to now.
He's not going to be great on the 8 ball here. Yeah. Quite close to the cushion and a tough shot.
Loved a bit more angle there, just bring the cue ball away. He's played that nicely though.
Still not a guarantee this one though. It's much harder than it looks. Oh, it's a beautiful 8 ball. Strokes it in like it was hanging over the pocket, and a beautiful start for Kyle Cope, who's just had to deal with huge disappointment.
Yeah, and obviously if a player like Luke, it is such a big asset to his game. You know, we're saying how well he times it, and he still gets the power as well, gets good splits. But unfortunately, if you don't get that, or if you get the cue ball in, those good splits go to your opponent. So it's sort of ruined his day a little bit for him. He'll be disappointed that the break hasn't worked for him. Unfortunately, with Paul, that is just one of those things. Sometimes there's just certainly feels like there's just not a lot you can do.
Tough layout this one. Yellows obviously look easier other than the one by the 8 ball, but it's dangerous to develop it. But it looks like what he's going to try and do. Oh, how about that? That's a beautiful shot. And now all of a sudden yellows look routine. What a beautiful shot that was.
Yeah, the pace was important on that shot. Obviously, he didn't want to lose the 8 ball or yellow put anything safe, so he's controlled the pace really well and got his reward. Serena down, he'll probably make 4 balls off the break now.
Yeah, 12 minutes 33 to try and get something going. Yellow needs to drop, and it will, so he should be able to try and get something going here. His issue comes the 8 ball does he like yellows to... Reds look nice as well, apart from the 8-ball, but hard to deal with if you take reds. So. Decisions.
Yeah, I think the yellow, he's just had a look there at the angle. The yellow to the right middle. If he can maybe look to finish on an angle to be able to bring the cue ball off the side cushion with a bit of bottom right side, just kick that 8-ball out and land on the yellow to the bottom right. Obviously, that's a few shots down the line yet. Mind his cue ball.
A little bit short.
Far enough, I don't think.
Unless the plan was the double and then the little soft bump, but it's come too far for that one. That's why he's gone to the left-hand side to be able to then play it. So it's a delicate little cannon just coming up now. Just like that, beautiful. Really would like the 8-ball to go left corner, but I don't think it does. He's trying to have a look to see if it goes left centre. Can't really get the cue ball out of the cushion, which is a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, I think he's just going to have to come back as far as he can, I think, by the looks of it.
It must go in the centre then. So this 8-ball to get on the board for Luke Gilbert. Very good. Bang under pressure. Huge, but where's the ball? There it is. There it is. Oh, and this layout's good. This layout's very nice. There's a little bit of work, but not masses. I think every single red's got a pocket. I think the one he's next to drops in.
Yeah, he hit the break really good then. I think he's got to be happy with the layout. Good chance to draw level in the match.
The only thing you would say is, if the red he's next to goes, and I think it does, you'd love to play it now, but you'd want to roll forward a little bit, but you're so close to it, you can't really play that. It's awkward.
Yeah, I think if he's got a slight angle, I wonder if he can almost stun it a bit and then still leave an angle to pop the red to the bottom left and pinch around still to have the other red. Oh, he's the other side of it, in fact.
Yeah, that was nice. Just use the pocket to... Because you want to deal with the 3 at the bottom first, really.
Yeah, get these 3 out of the way and work his way up the table. And obviously the blacks on the side rail's a little bit awkward, but it's not too difficult to get on.
Come up a little bit too far, I think. He wanted to be 2 or 3 rolls short of this so he could then track up the table. But he could still just avoid the 8-ball. That's okay. Still needs that one good positional shot to get nicely onto the 8.
Yeah, it's all about the angle, isn't it, on the last red?
Which he has not left. Well, he's actually got enough. I think he can top 1 cushion. It's not the perfect angle, but he can work it. He's screwing it, so it's coming off 1 cushion, screwing it. Yeah, it wasn't the perfect angle. Puts all the pressure onto the 8-ball. Big shot in the context of this group. Nowhere near. And that could be Luke Gilbert's final shot in the Players' Championship. Kyle Cope has his opportunity. Remember, if Kyle Cope wins this match, gets himself tied at the top of the table with Chris Melling, and then he'll wait to see whether that's enough to see him through, or whether he's in a 3-way 6-red shootout with Chris Melling and Josh Kane, with 2 to qualify. Nice bit of cueing.
Argued that one, nice.
Confidence as well. Look where he stunned the cue ball too.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on it with the 8 ball where it was.
Oh yeah.
See his layout now, very nice, no more problem balls.
I think if this is the end for Luke Gilbert, very disappointed. I think he's, would be frustrated he didn't quite get his break going today, but he's had enough chances to get more out of his matches than to lose 3 straight, but that's what he's staring at. But for Carl Cope, it's another brilliant performance. It really is. These last 2 matches, both going deep. Lost the one to Chris in the decider, but he wins this one with a frame to spare, and he has done all he can. He's asked the question of Josh Kane, can you match him and Chris?
For a very, very difficult cut into the top pocket, and he's missed. Tell you what, if Chris can see this red closest to the... Yeah, I think he can. Just on top of the yellow, he may be able to top it through and actually connect with the yellow. Just like that.
Is he on the next ball though? He's got the plant, I suppose, worst case. Which he would have known.
Yeah, he ideally would have liked to have been on the red that he's that was in front of the yellow, but he's not, as you say, so he's going to have to go for the plant. The plant's not too difficult in itself, but he's got to negotiate position as well. You start having to play these types of shot with side and things like that, it does make it trickier. Can he screw out the back and get out of the gap? He can.
It's okay. Would have preferred probably not to get that kiss. Would have just probably got him onto that red, which would have made things a little bit cleaner, but he's absolutely fine here. Yeah. And you can tell, Chris is working overtime here just to make sure of this. Taking a little bit extra time on the shots, really working things out. He knows how big this is, and he absolutely does not want to be in a 6-red shootout.
Yeah, and he's deliberately tried to play for the most, the awkward red of the 2. Maybe he's not quite on it, because now playing this shot, he has to land in the perfect spot in order to be able to hold for the 8 ball. Can he play a cannon onto the yellow, or is he going to be able to just soft screw this in? And that was the problem.
Yeah, now it's a very tricky 8 ball. He's actually lucky, well not lucky, but it's good for him. It's pulled up there. It goes one more turn. It's really tough. Yeah, it's right in the heart of the pocket.
That's what I said. He had to be as high as he possibly could, and he knew that. And I think that's why he tried to get on it previously. But as you say, Simon, nice finish there from Chris.
Yeah, still thinking and work to be done, even with cue ball in hand here for Chris.
Yeah. Does he hold and play another containing shot or a snooker? Does he go game?
Well, if neither of those yellows go, why not just bump your red off the cushion and get the snooker top right again? Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
It's got to be the percentage shot, isn't it?
Yeah. You're developing a bad ball, you're getting the snooker again, and you don't mind Josh getting out of this either, because you want there to be some movement in that area of the table.
Yeah. Plus he's got that extra security of knowing that the 8 ball is tied up. I think Josh has really just got to hit this hard and hope for something good to happen. No, he's decided on playing it with less pace. I think unfortunately this is delaying the inevitable now. Like you say, that's still not ideal for Chris.
Yeah, he bumped that red further down, so he's now got a good ball to play at developing of the one below the 2 yellows, but the red by the 8 ball and the 8 ball, because of that shot 3 or 4 shots ago from Chris, isn't perfect. So decisions to be made. Okay.
because now he knows that he just has to pot this red closest to the bottom cushion and get an angle on the red closest to the black to be able to bump the 8-ball out just slightly and still be on choice of red. So good thinking this from Chris.
Is he too straight? I think he needed one more turn up the table. I mean, it's still not terrible, but if he had that extra turn, he would just be able to just turn the 8-ball out as well.
Yeah, so he's going to... His second option now is red into the middle. Red bottom left as we look. Bottom right, I should say, and then leave the 8-ball to the same pocket.
He may... I mean, I was thinking he would get that turn high so he could just bump the 8-ball over the pocket, but that may have stopped him from being able to get red to red so easily. So I think he probably did go...
Head on the side of caution.
Yeah, this way round's the far cleaner way. You just got to back yourself to make the 8-ball down the cushion.
Yeah. That's good.
Just stood up off the shot just to reset himself. Played it perfectly and as good on this 8-ball as you could ever wish to be. And drops it in, minimum of first. That was really good to work out or watch Chris work it out. He's going to need at least one golden duck and a golden break and then a quick clearance. And now with Chris making that ball, that will be that. Half thought Josh might come forward to shake hands, but he's just going to sit there and be patient. He knows the game is up. His job done for Chris Melling. Might even round out in style and put together a quick clearance here to get the job done for 1.
Yeah, no pressure on Chris now. Can let his arm go a bit more. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he finishes these off in 50 seconds. Slow for Chris.
Yeah, he's got time for a couple more frames as well. He's got the wrong angle on this one, but doesn't, I say, it doesn't really matter. Not happy again, but it's not going to matter. Josh picks up his cues and said enough is enough. Chris Melling is safely through to the last 16. He moves on with Kyle Cope. Job done in this group.
Time now for Group 3, and this one is locked and loaded. Dylan Leary, Christophe Lambert, Declan Brennan, and the world champion, Clayton Castaldi.
If I was, I would probably side with Christophe. I'd like to change that pick. No, I like Christophe for this. I think he's always performed well under the match and shot clocks. I saw him in Louisiana recently, where he was in the shootout. He looked really sharp, really at home with the clock and all the rest of it. I'm just a huge admirer of his game. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Admittedly, less than an auspicious start for the Frenchman, but we'll see how we go. Dylan's got these reds to look at Christophe scratches.
How was Louisiana? I've not.
Well, I wasn't there.
Right.
I watched it at home with everyone else. But yeah, reading between the lines from the from Team USA, who were out there, it seems to have gone down as a huge success, really.
Yeah, good to see.
Nice to see an Ultimate Pool Pro in the winner's circle as well, in Chris Melling, showing those Yankees how to play 8-ball.
That's it. Well, we've got a few Ultimate Pool players still playing in the snooker as well. We've got Dave Gilbert still going in the semis of the World Snooker.
Right for a pool player.
And obviously Mark Allen's the new world #1. Not bad for an Ultimate Pool Pro. You know, it's
absolutely. Looking forward to seeing Dave up in Blackpool in June, whatever the result of his championships may be. But how amazing would it be if Dave Gilbert was able to get the job done in Sheffield over the next couple of days to have the snooker world champion?
Well, he might have been watching. He might still be watching because, of course, Kyle has been playing, and Kyle plays from Dave's club. And if he is listening in, hello, Dave. Hope tonight goes well. But if you do win it, you're definitely getting the round in and walkabout in Blackpool, mate. That's for absolute sure. And I'm sure he won't mind doing so either. He'll probably bring the trophy with him and drink out of it. Great character, Dave. Great to be around. And I hope he does really, really well.
Yeah, a thoroughly likeable bloke as well. Really looking forward to seeing how he goes in June. Dylan's got a decent chance on these reds. He's still got a little bit of work to do, Mines.
Yeah, just needs to make sure he brings the cue ball out here towards the middle of the table. Them shots can be quite jabby sometimes, and sometimes you sort of feather them and don't get the reaction you need, but he's landed about as good as he would have wanted to here. If anything, he's probably come a little bit too far. He's got to put a little bit more on the cue ball here to get it across to the left-hand side of the table as we look. Needs to slow up.
Oh, this isn't nice.
No, it's not. He's just slightly too far. I mean, he's okay. He should just be able to just trickle this in. Slightly more difficult 8-ball than he would have wanted, but he should still be okay here.
Yeah, he basically can't get to the left side of that yellow, so he has to accept that he's going to slide by it. He probably wants to give it a little tickle on the way as well. He's a fiddly. No, he's going to avoid all that together. He can hold it out into the middle of the table.
The beauty of this, of course, is that he can play this 8-ball now, not have to worry where the cue ball's going, because it is going to block the in-off to the right middle, so that right middle doesn't come into play. So we've just got to concentrate on the pot here.
Which does help.
And it's there.
Never in doubt, was it? Lovely shot from Lethal Leary, who goes very quickly 2-0 to the good. Sort of the...
Nice break.
I mean, that's an unbelievable break, isn't it? Yeah, deserved ball, gets one. It's part of the evolution of Christoph, is having to almost accept and to adapt and overcome these short shot clocks. You know, typically an incredibly slow player, you know, almost quite well known for it. But actually, the way that he's adapted to be a brilliant shot clock player has been one of my favourite things to watch. I mean, how about that for a first shot?
That's a lovely first shot.
How do you like them?
Because they really did not look nice, and now that's a lovely shot as well. Well,
as I say, that first frame, some of the shots that he played in getting to the stage that he did until he ran out of position, I think were, you know, confidence boosters for anyone who's a Christophe Lambert fan. Ooh, I say that. That's landed about as horrible as it possibly could.
Certainly not what he wanted up against the clock. That's a foul as well.
Oh, wow. Oh, it'll be a case of,
well,
back to fight again, I think.
Yeah, I mean, possibly so, but Dylan can just use all the clock here, just make sure he pots 4 balls, and then there's probably not enough time in the match anyway, even if Christoph was to win this frame.
Yeah, well, he can take a minute off the clock here for sure before even having to worry about a difficult shot. I just wonder if, you know, he can probably have a decent go at that plan. And he's got his extension. You want to use most of this, Dylan?
Yeah, I think I'd have just been using that down to like the beeps for sure. He's not played the best shot in the world there either. No,
he's either too long or too short. He's a bit in between, so he might have to take the plan after this shot here, which certainly wouldn't have been the plan. Or do you go all in and go top left and try and break into it?
Yeah, I don't think you can get that. You'd have to play that with a lot of left-hand side, and the way that this cloth plays now reactive it is, I don't think you can get into it. I think you play the plan now, cover the pocket if you miss. He's got it anyway.
Shot.
What a shot that is. And he's actually not landed where he wanted to, but he's landed okay on the one in the middle.
He's not bad. He can track towards the cushion at least. This would be a naughty out, wouldn't it?
Well, you certainly fancy him getting him down the rails. Perfect. What a start this is.
Dylan Leary looks the cat's whiskers. Well, what a performance from Dylan Leary. A 4-0 win over Christophe Lambert. And in no time at all. What a performance. It's Decky on the break. 20 minutes back on the clock. and a perfect start for the Northern Irishman. It's never ever, and look, there is a long, long way to go, not just in this match, but in the rest of the weekend. Declan will certainly hope. But it's never a good sign when you give yourself all that build-up, then the break comes and you break straight off into the corner pocket. It must just be such a crash.
It's because you called him Northern Ireland's finest, that's what that is. If you'd have said Northern Ireland's
Well, look,
second best player, he'd have broke off there and potted the 8 and the white would have stayed up.
Look, I know you've got more than enough experience of breaking straight off into the corner pocket.
I don't know what you mean.
So, yeah, but you know what I mean? That must be a bit of a sickener, to be honest, to start off your match like that.
Well, it's not for me because I'm consistent at it. Or I was. I don't think I'm so bad anymore. But yeah, it is a sickener, absolutely. It's a tough one on the break, really, because you can obviously hit the balls really well and not pot. And, you know, obviously, if, like I say, it's all about giving yourself enough chances in this game. It's not like it's not tough enough anyway without going enough.
Oh, that's really unlucky. That is so unlucky.
Yeah, it's just the side that's taking the cue ball in there. But in all fairness, he didn't really get a great split. So yeah, it's unlucky that he's found the in off. But even if he hadn't gone an off, he's landed on nothing. So was it really the right shot? I think he could have got one of the reds off the face of the 8 ball. So you've got to look at it as, you know, is it unlucky really? And again, you know, it's our job to be uber critical. Unlucky. It's unlucky to going off, but it wasn't really the right shot.
Okay, that's a rare bit of salient punditry from you, James.
I'm just here to be mean. That's what I'm at. We'll play good cop, bad cop, and I'll be bad cop today. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm more than okay with that. So Decky is going to get his chance in this first frame. Must admit, such a huge fan of the decision taken by the Ultimate Pool higher-ups to offer Clayton pro status for 2024 as the world champion. An opportunity he was more than willing to accept, and already reached the Pro Series final this year, beaten by Luke Gilbert in that one. But you know, as we sort of alluded to earlier, sometimes all you can do is just knock on the door and wait to see if it opens. You can't always necessarily barge it down yourself.
No, that's right. And I think, you know, we're saying that, Jamie, you know, you can't take away from the fact that Decky's one of the best players in the world. You know, you sort of talk about it there like it's a big achievement just to beat Tom. You know, it's a huge achievement to win the event. Of course, it's a big achievement to beat Tom or any of the best players, especially, you know, the season that Tom's had. But he's more than capable of doing that. You know,
oh,
he's
yeah,
absolutely one of the best
just
players.
saying it probably added to the feeling of accomplishment, I think.
Yeah, Tom's had a bit of a run, hasn't he?
He's not bad.
I wish he'd play somewhere else. He's certainly he's not quite there yet, but he's certainly in the conversation now for one of the best of all time, I think, for me, Tom.
Oh, it has to be. As I say, don't agree with you. I think, you know, because of the longevity in the sport and the longevity of a certain few individuals, I think you're absolutely right. But yeah, you're absolutely in the conversation.
He'd make you choose United team, wouldn't he, Tom?
Yeah, I think that's a gimme. That's a lovely shot from Deck. Wants to sit. He's long by a few inches there.
Yeah, that's travelled a bit. That it just seemed to spring off that side rail.
Yeah, he got a lovely line, which was exactly the line he was looking to hit. Just a little bit too much pace. So I think this is a reroute. I think he wanted the one to the middle pocket, but he can take that now. I've seen a much better Declan Brennan ever since he first started knocking about with that glove, which I think came in Morocco. It was a bit of a requirement out there with how hot and humid it was. A lot of the players, even those who were fervently against it, started donning the polyester.
Bit warm, was it?
It was toasty. But yeah, and it's interesting actually that Declan stuck with it.
Yeah, I've never been a
Lovely.
big believer of the glove. I understand obviously what it's for, but I mean, I clean my cue probably like once every 3 or 4 days, so I don't even ever really struggle with the stickiness. But I suppose not everyone is a bit OCD like me. I'm a bit of a clean freak, so I'm always polishing my cue. Well, we have a laugh, don't we? At least
One of us does.
it's always comedy. Listen, I've got to live up to my nickname. You know, it's part of my contract. It's what I have to do.
Booming break again from Clayton Castaldi, who
Great break.
yeah, got a little bit too much bottom on it, I think. Sort of rips it back a bit, but you can see the powers there. Really, really nice. Got the line well. And now he's got to get to work. There's still time in this match, 6 minutes, just ticked on over. So still plenty of time for the Castle to get back into it. He will be relying a little bit on Declan not getting opportunities, you would imagine, once that's a sit. It's okay. He's looking at this one to the right middle. Looks tight from the overhead, but I think he's all right. Yeah, just slides it off the jaw, that's okay. This is the key shot, isn't it? This one from the top to the bottom, just getting his line, his pace right. It's the same sort of shot that cost him before.
Yeah, a little bit of teeny little bit of left-hand side to swing it round and let the cue ball do the work. Not too much, so he doesn't want to hit that red. He's been lucky. He's been lucky. He wanted to come the other side of that red and bring himself closer to his work, because he needs to get over to the left-hand side of the table here as we look. And I think you'll find he'll have to punch this slightly to get it over, because he wants to be on that one in the left middle. So the yellow in between the gap of the 8 ball and the other yellow, he wants to be on that one.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to punch this. Because if he'd come the other side of the red, he'd had the angle just to drop over. So he stuns this. He's played it well. He's played it with a little bit of left-hand side, but he's not on it.
Yeah,
He's
you can
not
see
on
there,
it.
he's not on it. He's in bother.
Just think he's gone the wrong way here a couple of times. This goes, but it's very tight. It's a very difficult shot. And what he doesn't want to do is be playing it when he's got like a few seconds left. So changed his mind. He's going to try and he's potted it. That's a lovely, what a shot that is. Well, there's highlight reel. And obviously he's played that in a way that obviously if he doesn't get it, he covers the pocket. But again, you know, these rules, we know that covering pockets doesn't really do anything for you, but played it perfectly. And this should be 3-1.
Yeah, dropped in the other one over the middle as well. And the 8 ball will roll in. So Clayton Castaldi by hook up by crook. He did play a loose one in there, but he recovered brilliantly. Eight ball.
Oh.
Declan Brennan does it in style. Not much celebration from the destroyer, which I think is sort of par for the course, really. But he gets it done and over with pretty speedy. Yeah, you can have a little bit of a smile. A 4-1 win for Declan Brennan over Clayton Castaldi. Only a race to 4, but it's as strong a win as I've ever seen Dylan take down, to be honest. Looked imperious, in complete control. Played some great stuff.
Yeah, you'll take these splits every time, that's for sure.
ball. Yellow ball's in play.
It's a strange opening shot. It's okay, but I think he tried to hit the 8 ball and knock it out the way of the red, so it just opened up a few more pockets for it, but I don't think there's any real need to do so. Just try to do it again. But again, he's all right. I think he'll now be taking the yellow in the right middle as his last ball. Yeah, perfect. I was going to say, just needs a little bit of angle on this one. If he'd have landed straight, it would have been a little bit tougher. But he's absolutely perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, he's gone about these nicely again, hasn't he? I must say, really, really impressed him at the moment. Very small sample size, but looks absolutely brilliant. Really shown up in a big way so far today. You know, knocking the finishes in front of you, and an ominous start for Lethal Leary.
He might just be okay, because he might just be able to hold the cue ball here on the red that he's closest to after he pots this. So there's a little soft stun here. No. No.
It's amazing how often those two-way shots sort of go wrong, because you're looking at the cue ball almost more than you're looking at the pot. It was tough.
Yeah, we're disappointed so far here, Decky. He has got a chance here to play a loss of turn shot. But it's not easy, and he will leave Decky a chance, so I don't think he's going to play that straight from the off. Called his extension. He's not yet 100% sure. Yeah, well. If you can just chip this yellow to the rail, just tie it up. Oh. Okay. Is he on the one in the middle? I think he might be. I can't help but thinking he's hanging himself a little bit here, Dylan. Well, he definitely is now. He definitely is now.
Yeah, big problem. He's a hell of a shot maker though, Dylan, and he's going to need to be to get anything out of this frame.
Yeah, I mean, okay, he's not really left Decky anything too simple, but Decky just brings the yellow into play, puts the cue ball at the top of the table, and Dylan's in a world of bother, so... Just seemed like Dylan was potting balls there for the sake of potting balls.
15-second shot clock in play.
And now he is in trouble. He needs to hurry up.
Oh.
Well,
Well, he's nearly played an unbelievable loss of turn shot there, which would have put him in such a strong position in the frame.
well, lovely from Decky.
Back in the game, and with just about enough time too, a shade under 4 minutes for Declan Brennan to go back within 1. Declan with the break.
Not going to be no aerobics there from Dylan, was there? He's not going to risk her. Well, there we go.
Yeah, Scott Price letting Declan know that he can concede now if he wants, and Declan took that choice pretty immediately. But this man right here looks in fantastic shape. Dylan Leary through to the last 16, 2 wins from 2, and he's coming up shortly as well. Both have 2. They've won 1 and lost 1. Clayton Castoldi still on 0. Delighted to say that Jimmy Croxton has left us. Even more delighted to say that Luke Gilbert has joined us. What a substitution in the comms box.
Yeah, I'll take that
Afternoon,
as a
Luke.
compliment. Thank you, mate.
It's not much of one, which says a lot.
No, I
but
suppose it's only Jimmy, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is.
Any
But lovely to
compliment's
have
a
you with us,
compliment.
Luke. We thought your stay earlier wasn't long enough on the Players' Championship, so we wanted to give you a few extra
It
minutes.
didn't last very long on the table, that is for sure. Yeah, tough day out there today, but, you know, go back. We'll come again another time and see if things plan a little bit better for me.
Yeah, can't win them all, mate.
It'd be nice to win more. Win more, that's for sure.
Now Christoph at the table. He looked really sharp in his last match against Clayton Castoldi. Took out a champagne finish to seal the win. 4-0.
Good open chance here as well to get off to a good start in the match. Looks like that red's making that top right pocket a big pocket, but sometimes if it's sort of glued to the cushion, it can almost trap it a little bit more. If you do hit it a touch too thick, it could just double kiss and the ball might not go in. Just wants to get his pattern right, really. Yeah, they're becoming a little bit tricky now, to be honest. It's awkward to sort of pick your last ball. You want the one that he's about to play now as your last ball, but there's no great way of making it your last ball. That makes sense. It's, you know, this isn't ideal, and he's gonna play the one to the top left and stun across, I think, to try and get off the bottom, towards the bottom of the table, to play the one up the cushion past the red and the top right. Sort of straight is perfect if he can land on the cushion. Just like I said there, it's absolutely perfect. He can just roll this ball in or stun it in, depending on how far he wants to come off the cushion, but he can just leave a natural angle. It's just so he can play the yellow into the bottom right pocket, swing the cue around the back of the 2 reds. Doesn't want to be bridging.
He doesn't want to be bridging. He's all right.
Yeah, so because he's come so far off the cushion, the natural line now just plays off the cushion and into the reds. So it's not too bad, because I think you're either going to get the gap or you will hit the top one. I don't think he'll hit the bottom one and stick, so he should be fine here. I think he's definitely going to have a shot on the 8. He just doesn't want to hit the top top red fin and slide off it and come on the table. But yeah, you can see.
Perfect. Pretty pristine visit to the table from Christoph.
Looked a bit tricky, but went about in the right way, and you know, made it look like a. The way he got up there almost made me feel like he thought he missed that.
Yeah, was up quite quickly, wasn't he?
So I actually do think these are probably the best conditions I've played under, but I'm really not used to them.
Right.
Which was the big thing for me today. It's, you know, if I was playing on them on that sort of table all the time, I'd love that because I thought it was great. But because it was nothing like what I'm used to at the minute, I keep my cue balls all over the place. You know, brand new conditions, which this isn't. You know, this cloth's about 6 weeks old. It's playing a nice speed, and because the cushions aren't brand new, you know, the jaws play a little bit firmer. You know, balls don't quite go in as easy. And it's an enjoyable table to play on the way it's playing right now, as long as you
I was going to say
quickly.
You got to adapt quickly. Yeah, that's the hardest thing, because it's interesting. We saw Dylan in the first match of this group. He came out and bageled Christophe Lambert, and Dylan played lights out. And I was so surprised at how well he started. You know, first match on the table, or the weekend, and all the rest of it. And he's pretty much continued that form all the way through the group. It's been brilliant.
I was just saying, I was amazed he played the plant there. Someone that cues as good as Declan, you know, he's sort of dead straight on that ball in the corner. I thought he could have just stunned it in, and you know, he'd have gone the same order with the balls, but I thought he was just really good to pot it straight and roll them in that way. But
he's taking these out nicely, though, Declan.
Yeah, he's going to get out anyway. So.
A confidence booster, this one. He needed this.
Yeah, you know, that time's ticking down as well. Just 9 minutes now. The clock will run down when the ref sets the balls up as well. He can plant the reds into the centre. The cue ball will drift past the 8 ball. And then he's got the angle on the bottom one. So he's going yellows, but
No, that's made him worse.
I don't think they're a can't tell. You know, the overhead's not a great view from what we can see
you
in
don't
here.
get.
But
you can make it.
yeah, you can. Yeah, oh, he's played it at pace as well. It's a great shot.
That's a lovely, lovely shot. And now look at the yellows.
And he's got the angle as well here. He can play the top one of the 3 that you can see, and he can actually get on the rail. So they've come out really nice. Almost wants to be where the red is, just above this yellow. Let's replace it so you see exactly there.
Yeah, he
can just roll
looks
this
focused
in.
out there, doesn't he, Declan? It looks like he sort of acknowledged the importance of this frame, and he's taking the ball by the horns, really. Wasn't prepared to wait and tippy-tap out a tactical battle for who goes first. He was given his chance, and he's jumped at it.
He's under this a little bit. He's okay, but slightly under here. We're going to go 2-all by the looks of things.
Yeah, into the last 5 minutes.
And
It's
then
all to play for.
The next time a ball's hit will be on the 15-second shot clock after this frame. So
All to play for. This has been probably, I think, the best visit to the table of the match. That was really, really good from Declan Brennan.
Time just down is correct. Ball in hand from ball. Time running.
So Dylan gets to complete his victory lap. The table is very simple, helpfully. Dylan and Clayton's fates are sealed. Dylan is through, Clayton is out. And worth sticking with us for this one, for whilst it is a rubber match, afterwards It's 6 red shootout time. Christophe Lambert against Declan Brennan. And it's very rare that you'll be put into a 6 red shootout and you'll absolutely know for sure that you've got a 20-minute window. So I just wonder if there's some practicing taking place as we welcome the venerable Simon Webb back into the commentary box following his dinner break.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, both players will probably have their own view on it. The practice tables are there, good chance to get your arm going and kind of get the feel for it, but also the key shot, the break, and how it's all going to go isn't quite as laid out really in terms of the table play so differently. So do you really want to do that or not? I mean, both players will have practiced it enough and know what's going on. Each will be to their own. Personally, I think I'd like to go out there and maybe just have a run through 1 or 2, even though I know it's going to be different out on the main table, just to get the feel and the mindset right. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating.
I'll tell you what, Dylan's actually on the verge here of taking out a fantastic finish, because that yellow was dead in the water before his shot before that. And if he can nip this enough to avoid the left centre pocket, this yellow goes. This would be a hell of a finish. It is tough. He's got his extension. I just don't know if he can avoid that left centre pocket.
He's going to flick the red. It's whether he flicks it enough. I think if he tries to spin it out, I think he's too thin. Oh,
he
brilliant.
Could avoid it. What a shot.
That's brilliant.
I know you've not been following Si, because it has been very much break time for you, but Dylan's been brilliant in this group. He's played so well. 4-0 win against Christophe Lambert, 3-1 win against Declan Brennan, 1-0 up against Clayton Castaldi. He's 8-1 in the frame difference. He's playing some really, really good stuff. It's as comfortable and as confident as I've seen Dylan on this table. He looks really, really up for it.
If the 1 by the 8 ball goes to bottom right, it is ideal, but I think it's blocked off, so he's not on either of those 2 below the 8 ball, so he's going to have to go up the table. Still needs 1 good positional shot just to get in amongst those 3.
Just looks really comfortable and composed and confident as well. Even a little cannon like that, which felt a little bit more of an extroverted touch, one that wasn't necessarily entirely needed. It's still come out beautifully for him.
Yeah, I wondered when he played it whether he's landed on the red to bottom right, but the yellow's in the way. So he's got to control this one well, because he's got to hit the gap to be on the 1 to the left of the 8 ball. Not a massive window.
Doesn't matter how big the window is, Dylan Leary's finding it today.
Yeah, that was a lovely shot again.
Lethal by name, lethal by nature.
Really is the case. This looks like we've seen him when he's playing in some of the seniors tournaments we've covered here on Ultimate Pool TV. He looks dangerous, he looks like sharp, he looks like he's going to clear up every time he comes to the table, and he's great to see him doing it on this stage. And
cue ball. That may well be the last shot that Clayton plays in this year's Players' Championship.
yeah, Yeah, it was, he couldn't make his mind up. He wasn't nice on that angle-wise, and he couldn't make up his mind which way to go, and eventually the clock beat him.
The only time where Dillon's looked anything other than completely at ease and in complete control is in the 15-second shot clock, and I am splitting hairs because he's still been very good. But it has just induced that little bit, I don't know, it's probably more of a body language thing more than anything else, but he looks a touch more rattled and less assured. Maybe I'm just being a little bit harsh on him, because the results are still very much there. Gets the chance to sprint over the winner's line here. Oh, it's as good as anyone has looked today.
Making the game look easy. Very impressive.
Well, Dylan Leary has played 3 matches against Christophe Lambert, Declan Brennan and the world champion, and he's won 11 frames and lost 1.
Yeah, player of the day, no doubt for me.
Sailing through to the last 16. What a performance from Dylan Leary. Absolutely brilliant, that. Really, really good.
And to close out the day, Group 4 is a belter. Neil Raybone, Scott Gillespie, Arfan Dad and Lewis Roberts.
2 of them will make it through to the last 16 on Sunday, and we are underway. Oh, I thought that was going to be a golden break to start with. Neil Raybone with the opening break of this group, and in truth, not his best. It was a poor hit, and it means that Scott Gillespie will get the first opportunity. You can see how wide that break is. He nearly went in off into the centre pocket. Other 2 players in this group are Arfan Dad and Lewis Roberts, who we heard from earlier on today. Came and did some stints on commentary. He will be playing in our second match, taking on the Daddy. Another tough group. Another tough group to even think about where we think it might go, who might be favourite. As all the groups have been, it's been so tough to call. Current form, arguably Scott Gillespie may be the man to beat, but with 2 to qualify through, I think all 4 players will certainly have their say. Good opening chance, this one for Goobsy. Another turn maybe would have been better. Get a little bit straighter in on this red to left centre, pop it off the yellow. But he has probably got far enough that he can control it. Deciding to pull back for a better angle on it. Stephen Jameson has rejoined me here on commentary. It's been a great day, Stevens, but we've got some more drama ahead, I'm sure.
Yeah, something tells me there's probably some nonsense incoming at some point.
Just didn't get on that ball correctly twice, and his chance goes, and well, he's handed a brilliant chance here to Neil Raybone to, well, he can just forget about the poor break now and could win this opening frame at a canter.
So just in case you are joining us for the first time this Friday evening, maybe you've been out of work or making the most of your Friday, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And what you've seen so far are 6 players who made their way through to the last 16 of the Ultimate Pool Players Championship. This tournament is 8 groups of 4, so we're already down to the last 32 stage, the series of qualifiers. So 8 groups of 4, played basically to a Champions League style format over the course of this Friday and Saturday. By the time we reach Championship Sunday, it's the last 16 remaining. 2 will qualify from each group, and will then play down from the last 16 onwards on Sunday. So, those who made it through: Greg Batten, first up this morning, alongside Hitan Patel. Chris Melling was then safely through alongside Kyle Cope from Group 2, and we've just seen the conclusion to Group 3. Dramatic conclusion that it was. Dylan Leary flawless in winning the group. Declan Brennan through via 6-red shootout against the French phenom Christophe Lambert.
Yeah, it's been very entertaining all day, and the one common theme throughout the day is you just don't quite know what's going to happen. You can make a case for these players who you might think go well and come through, but it has really been tight all the way. Well, that rattled, but in it drops. And this 8-ball for the opening frame from Neil Raybone. As well, but importantly falls in for the razor, because if he comes across to take it to the bottom left, he's likely to be high, which isn't great to get on the 8-ball. So coming low, just tracer running. There you go, just to get underneath there.
Oh, not that far underneath.
If he catches the yellow full ball, it's perfect.
Oh, could that be a turning point?
It could be a massive moment in this particular match, because there's still 7:40 left on the clock, and right now Scott Gillespie's a massive favourite to win this frame, and he has the next break. Nowhere near, unfortunately. Good opportunity then just to allow Scott Gillespie to free up. And he'll be kicking himself one positional shot away from 3-0. I thought his plan might be to get the other side of straight on this yellow, so that he can just play a little soft control cannon into the 8-ball, and everything's in play, and then you just mind your work. He was probably trying to avoid it in terms of he's happy where the 8-ball is and will back himself to make it down the cushion. It just made things a little bit easier if he could have done that, but how often do we talk about not moving balls if you don't have to? Could do it now, assuming both yellows pass independently to top right, and they do. You can clearly see that. Could play the little cannon now. Yeah, that's what he's done.
Yeah, and Scott's a player who will always cannon if he can.
That's why I'm surprised he didn't. Maybe he tried to. He just potted the ball a little bit thick on his original shot. Didn't quite get to where he wanted to.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one, because Goops is such a brilliant potter. You know, you almost feel like, you know, he'd back himself down the rail more often than not, but I think, yeah, it's almost slightly counterintuitive. Almost prefers to sometimes play the more difficult cannons, make the pots as simple as possible. That's his preferred method.
And I would say what's happened over the course of the first 3.5 years with Ultimate Pool before that good run at the British Open is that I think his low in confidence.
Oh, what a shot this is.
Oh, that's magnificent.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's impressive.
Oh, that's an unbelievable dig
It's just
from Scott Gillespie.
Calm as you like. It was like it was hanging over the pocket for Scott.
And he powers the red in.
He hasn't, has he?
Nice access to the 8-ball. Well, that is an extraordinary red that he made there. Absolutely outstanding from Scott Gillespie. And we are all square again at 2 each. Yeah, just a bit surprised is all. Not being hypercritical.
Well, he's got 1 minute to try and put things right. He absolutely dogged the break again, though. He's mishit 2 of his 3 breaks significantly, and that's not a good sign for Neil going forward in this group. but he does have the chance here in the, well, I was about to say the decider. It's the final minute, so it's essentially the last frame, but can he get there? 8-ball is horrible, but can he get to the point where he has a bit of a swing at it? Saw him just glancing at the clock.
Right, might be. Oh, not now.
Not now. Not now. Oh, touching ball's been called. Does that mean he can play any sort of plant or anything? No, it's the draw. He's just said draw it is, even with the foul.
Yeah, Scott Gillespie's not going to get out of his chair other than to shake Neil Raybone's hand. I think he's just had a giggle there with our referee, Scott Price. Match over, and it ends all square. Lovely matchup, that one. Just before we go to break, let's have another look at that highlight reel shot from Scott Gillespie. This was a hell of a red, which has got him the draw in this match. That could be crucial come the end of the evening.
I think over the course of, we talked previously, as we see Arfan with the opening break, he does have a fabulous break, but not this time. We talk about who might have the edge, who might be the favourite coming into this group.
I'm sorry, I've got to cut you off. He's hit an unbelievable break there. And to get kicked in off like that.
Oh, it's brutal.
I've got to say, if I was in Arfan's chair right now, I would be considering turning round and going back up the motorway.
Can we start again? Yeah.
That's the first shot I'm hitting this weekend. I've hit it like an absolute dream. Cannot hit it any better. And I'm bone drying up and kicked in off in the corner pocket.
Yeah, it's
welcome to the Players' Championships, Arthur.
Brutal. The only thing I was about to make the point for Arfan is that, you know, I try to look at these groups and think who might be the favourite, who's the under, you know, that sort of thing. And body of work for the last 18 months, 2 years, you've got to say Arfan's probably got the edge in this group in terms of, you know, who should get the favourite tag. Obviously, Scott Gillespie on recent form has gone really, really well, but Arfan has just played really well for 2 years. Lewis went really well last time out in the Pro Series, already found some form, and I think he's playing his best pool in the pro ranks right now as well.
You can see the cue maker's fancy new shirt.
Yeah, I like it.
Obviously a fan of Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well it would have fared in the shirt battle had it been put into the shirt battle, but in terms of all the shirts we've seen out there, I think it's
well,
it's one of my favourites.
It's just a little bit of Lewis, isn't it? It's stylish,
yeah.
It's sleek. You know, it's got a colour scheme on it that's probably more suited to younger people.
Lewis can pass for about 24, so we're okay.
Lovely opening visit to the table from Lewis. He's got a choice here. He could, if he wanted to, play into the 8-ball, or he could just settle for a double.
Yeah, he would love to be straight. He wants the double. He doesn't want to play into it because you're not guaranteed to knock it on. He's left the angle to do that, but he wants to be straight to play the double. So in the end, he probably felt like he had to, but has it come out for him? Oh, it's awkward.
Oh, it's on. Cue ball is the big question. Was he going off the red? Oh, shot Lewis. The cue maker gets himself a highlight 8-ball. That was a cracker.
Shocked he's changed to the cut break, but it's worked.
Yeah, I sympathise because he has got an excellent cut break. So, you know, if your first break didn't work, then why change? But you're right, I think his front ball break is so good. Why would you ever cut break?
Yeah, if I could hit the front ball as well as Arfan could, I don't think I would cut break. But you are right, he has a great cut break as well. It's just, I I don't know, one break which he hit brilliantly isn't a big enough sample size for me to make me want to change, but the pool players are fickle. These yellows all go. Would like to get rid of the yellow underneath the 8-ball early to allow him to plot a route to then get back to the 8-ball. You wouldn't want to leave that as a late ball in this chance. This isn't ideal. Must have been playing on the one below the 8-ball there. I actually thought he'd try and play on it second shot while he had the one over top left. Decided to clear the ones in the top of the table, then come down. But
well, sticking himself on the cushion was the worst possible outcome.
Yeah. All of a sudden, if you leave the ones at the top of the table for your last couple, all of a sudden that 8-ball doesn't feel like as big a problem. But from where he's going to end up, I mean, getting on the one below the 8-ball is going to be tough, but then getting back onto the 8-ball is going to make it even tougher.
Well, he's on the one below the 8-ball now.
But he has to slide across and get a good angle on the last yellow.
Quite a long way across.
Yeah, and it's one of those. If you leave balls at the top of the table, then you've got more balls to connect back to the 8. Must go up the table the way he played that. No attempt to get across underneath it.
Well, I think it does go up the table, but
it's a poor angle now.
Yeah, you'd want it to be a little bit further across, just so you could get him behind the 8-ball. It looks like he's got a bit of work to do here.
Oh, it definitely goes. Maybe screw on and off the bottom cushion. Yeah, beautiful shot.
Yeah, he's played it really well. Definitely far from ideal there, but that's excellent.
Tell you what, you can't argue with a change to the cut break as much as I was trying to on the previous one, the way he hits it.
He does hit that cut break so well. It's one of the best ones on the tour.
Actually hasn't got the lead that the break deserved, actually.
And I give Arfan a bit of slack with the cut break because, you know, he's got a great front ball break. He's not doing it because he can't front ball break.
Well, he's just got a sledgehammer of a front ball break. It's kind of why I like watching it. It's why I wanted him to keep going. But it's that cut break. Well, and I'm one of the biggest fans of the cut break as well. So I'll tell you what, 2-2 is very much on the cards here now. 1:46 left. He's left Lewis a chance here. He has left Lewis a chance. I think he's got a natural to break out the bad ball. Yeah, that was poor from Arfan. Poor safety. Oh, and if Lewis can't see this yellow down the table, he's been very unlucky. He really has been very, very unlucky to not be on a ball with that shot there.
That's brutal. That is really brutal. I think his only option is the furthest east yellow up to top right. Or is it?
He wants that to go more than it actually goes. This is a horrible shot, but I'm with you. This is the right one.
Just plays a bit safe.
Yeah, I actually thought he was going to float up to the top right because of the time left in the match. If he gets that shot right, then Arfan might have to play a loss of turn to gain control, and then the clock's gone. So has he given Arfan half a sniff here to have a dip himself? He has. 40 seconds.
Arfan will have a real go at this.
Red below the 8-ball is the issue. Doesn't go to the bottom left, but he can get on it the other way.
20 seconds.
Don't think he can get on it from here. I might have to play into it.
He's not got this amount of time into the last 10 seconds. It's a hit and Chris.
Oh, no.
That 8 ball was close, and he has a little giggle, and the pair shake hands. Well, 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 our first 2 matches end 2-2. It's all to play for when we come back. Never has the 4-way 6-red shootout had such good odds at this stage of a group. I will leave that just to hang in the air as Simon Webb almost rattles with excitement next to me.
One day. Mind you, we did see one in a Players' Championship in year 1, but that was 4 from 6, as in, you know, it was a group of 6, and they finished as a 4-way with, I think, 2 to qualify. In fact, Lewis Roberts, who's in this group, was part of that 4-way, as was Neil, actually, I think. Neil Raybone. So, yeah, interesting that was the case, but maybe one day we'll see it in a group of 4. Tell you what, there's 4 players out there right now that don't want to see it. I was having a chat in the interval just after Scott's last match with Jamie Burnett, who's travelled down with him from Scotland, and obviously Scott's had a few issues with his hands over the years. And he was very close to pulling out of the tournament. He's actually in quite a lot of pain out there playing in this match. I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing him kind of not look overly kind of positive out there. He's actually playing in a decent amount of pain. So.
Yeah, had a chat with Scott himself in the gap. Congratulated on his amazing red that he got the draw with in that first game. But he said the same thing, and I think the cruelest thing of it all isn't necessarily the injury itself, but the timing of it is brutal for him, because as Scott said to me, he said, you know, British Open, I played so well, and I got my form going out, I got the hunger back, and you know, I'm wanting to practice, I'm wanting to play. And he feels like he's really struggling just to do that at the moment, just to put his hand on the table and cue through a ball is really, really difficult for him at present. And yes, you know, it's a mental struggle as well as a physical one.
Yeah, it stops you focusing on what you're trying to do out there. And you know, it happened after the British Open, as in it flared up before the last Pro Series in Blackpool when we last saw him. And it's really sad to hear that it's still, you know, still in that place, and it's something he's struggled with for years. It's just, you know, sometimes it's worse than others, and it's not something that's going to go away. He's just got to deal with it, really. But it's not nice for him, that. Little thin on this red. He's still going to have to play it. He's going to just have to nip it off the yellow. Doesn't really need to do too much more than just almost hold on the yellow. Won't have to try and overdo it here. Yeah, he miscued it. You hear that little horrible sound completely come off the side of the cue. Chance for our fan then to get off to a quick start here in this second match. Well, not sure the yellow. Initially, I thought, what an excellent shot. He was straight in on the yellow to left centre, and it was going to be a routine finish, but the yellow must be blocked off, so he's having to go up the table and rework this one. Good shot there, and he's back into prime position, so there should be no problem still. Where he's got these set up.
Oh, no.
Wow.
You do not see those very often at all, particularly from someone who cues it as well as Arfan Dad.
He just doesn't miss balls like that. There's times when Arfan will, you know, maybe get the pattern wrong, put himself into trouble and struggle to get out that way, but you never see him miss balls like that.
Yeah, that's such a surprise. Of all the players to miss a ball like that, Arfan will be low down the list.
Oh, that's landed a little bit awkward for Scott here. I think he's just off straight the wrong way, which means the yellow underneath the 8 ball here plays huge.
That's brave. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, he's very fortunate to be on this 8 ball, in all honesty. Any thicker, and he snookers himself.
But he's close enough to the line that he wanted that I think he's been rewarded for playing that shot. And nails the pot as well. That will really hurt our fan sat in that chair. I must say, I think the shot choice from Scott there was brilliant because, as you rightly said, is he a bit fortunate to still be on the 8 ball? Maybe. Competing for major titles with the best players in the world by playing brilliantly. 8 ball. That was close, you know, really close. It's dry.
Has he left to red? Does the red to nearest the break line pass to the right centre as we have another look? And
oh, it's tight.
It was close, that 8 ball, but if that red goes, these reds are lovely. If not, what red does he have?
Well, that's the one closest to the blue spot, long right, I think. But even that's tight.
First shot might be the hardest he has to play if this is that tight.
There it goes.
Yeah, now he can really just focus on what he's got to do here. 3 at the bottom and then get back up to the middle of the table. A real thing that can go wrong, you feel. Go back to the middle of the table now, just needs to make sure he lands near the straight, the red to bottom left at some point in the rest of the visit, which shouldn't be too tough with the ones above. And if he can do it now, all the better. That might be plumb perfect. Drop-ins, stop shots, connections are perfect. This is for 3-0. Looking good for Scott Gillespie.
It's almost like a calling card for me with Goobs. You know, you get a layout like this, which is absolutely presentable, but it just requires a good pattern and a good cue ball. And if he's taking those finishes out, it's almost like a sign that he's on it. And not just taking them out, but taking them out with authority and with comfort.
With ease, with making it look like it's the simplest game in the world. I agree with you.
And that's when Goobs is at his best. And he looks in very, very good shape. I know he's struggling, but you wouldn't know it. He's threading the needle here. Oh, that's a great effort, but not to be. Well, well, it should be terminal, let's be honest, for Arfan Dad.
Yeah, and I've got to be honest, I didn't see this performance from Arfan coming. He didn't play particularly well in his first match, and he's, you know, the 2 chances he had at the table in this match, obviously Scott's played well, but Arfan's had 2 chances and hasn't really been at the races in either of them. Just the way he's been playing lately, I didn't see that coming.
Scott Gillespie will be as pleased as anyone to get through a best of 7 in 4 frames flat.
I'll leave the one on the left-hand side till last, but
I think I'm right in saying this would all but guarantee qualification.
No, because
just has to avoid defeat in his last game.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, there's still the possibility of.
Of course, he could win this, lose his next one, 4-way 6-red shootout time. Yeah,
there's all sorts could go on. Yeah, so.
Of course. cue ball. Yeah, that'll do.
Helps.
That will do. Eight ball takes care of itself. This is frame and match ball. And in it flies. I tell you what, I know he's in quite a bit of pain out there, Scott Gillespie, but this is as solid a performance as you could wish to put in. Awesome, awesome display from the Scotsman, who flies through a 4-0 win over our fan Dad and is almost in the last 16. Brilliant performance. I'd just like to
It's been a long day. Can
scratch and erase everything that Simon Webb just said there, folks. If you are confused, I apologise. You can call him if you like and give him a piece of your mind on 07. No. So, to clarify, a win guarantees a 6-red shootout, and they must hope for a win for either Scott or Lewis in the next match, because it will mean one of Scott or Lewis, whoever loses, will remain on 3 points, and one of Neil or Arfan, whoever wins, will get to 3 points. The two who are on 3 will have themselves a 6-red showdown. I will say, if Scott Gillespie and Lewis Roberts play to a draw,
can you imagine?
They will guarantee themselves both qualification.
But as much as that won't happen, if they are, say, 2-2, 1-1, 3-3, whatever it might be, with 2 minutes to go, I can tell you neither of them are going to chase a finish. Neither of them are going to take on anything but. So it is relevant when they get deep into the match for sure. I don't see them starting the match aiming for 0-0, but it would be fun.
It would absolutely be fun.
Not for whoever wins this match, though. Although it is worth pointing out, if this match finishes as draw, then that final match of the day will be a dead match, as both will be through, and essentially they'll be playing for who comes first and who comes second in the group, which does make a difference, because the group winners will play the group runners up. So it will be an important match in that regard anyway.
I'm really trying to remember what game in the World Cup in, I think, the 70s or the 80s, and it forced, I think it was the World Cup, and it forced the change in how they worked out the group stages, because there was a match that happened where if both teams got a draw, they qualified, and they knew that because it was the last match to play, and they just knocked the ball around for 9 minutes. And it's one of the funniest games of all time, and it forced a rule change. Now that won't happen for Lewis and Scott, but I would say I personally would find it very funny if it did, for about the first minute, and then I'd be very bored for the next 19. But
if I tell you what, if that was to happen, I'd love to be in the a fly on the wall in the Ultimate Pool tournament director meeting to discuss what they're going to do going forward. I do think it will come into play if it's tight towards the back end of the match, though, in terms of, and it's a very relevant decision to not chase it.
Well, that's the thing, you don't want to lose. That makes sense.
How often do we see matches where a player with 3 minutes to go, is basically going to ask their opponent to take on a super low percentage finish, and they're not going to take anything on? In fact, they get super negative. If that happens in the next match, then neither player will want to take it on, and it will just become very negative towards the back end of it. So it would become the right thing to do, although it is worth pointing out, if they do draw the next match, then they would actually have to end up in a 6-red shootout to determine who finishes first and second in the group. But
yeah, but that's a really nice 6-red shootout, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really matter. It matters for the draw purposes, but realistically, whether you get first or second from one of these groups.
Beautiful shot from Arfan. Hasn't been at his best in this group, far from it, but that was a lovely shot. And he's going to get off to a quick start here. More ways to clear up, as he shows there. Get the sense, the way that Neil's kind of going about business right now, that he knows the game's up, really. Feel like an awful long way back, even if they've made the clearance there. One thing, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Stephen, because I've already been wrong on the table already. A rare mistake. That's a beautiful shot from Arthur, by the way.
It is. To give you your flowers, yes, that's absolutely a rare mistake. It's usually me cacking it up for everyone.
Whatever happens, we are going to end the day with a 6 red shootout. Whether it's Arfan.
Go off.
Oh, come on.
We've seen some despicable flukes today. Shout out hitting Patel. That's
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That is up there. That's oh, that's painful for Neil. That really is. Neil's gathered up both of his cues and says, "Yep, that's how I'm leaving." Fair enough. Oh, that's such a brutal fluke. Well, you'd fancy Arfan has got a good chance of seeing a 6 red shootout. I believe Mark Fleming's also in the house as well, supporting Scott Gillespie and Team Scotland's side. And there he is, avidly checking the live scoring.
Yeah, deep into what Scott Gillespie's doing. His day comes tomorrow. Be happy with the group he's drawn into. We've already talked about that. So, yeah, he's here a day ahead of time, just getting himself ready.
Jamie Burnett. Also in the corner of his good pal Scott Gillespie.
Tricky next shot. He's got to play a very good positional shot here. If the yellow goes top left, it helps him. He doesn't have to get onto it into the centre. It's a lot easier to get onto it into the top left. Difficult to tell from that. Looks very tight. Very thin if he takes it into the centre. Cue ball will be running wild and it's a tough pot. But the way he played that, I think he probably does go long. It does, but it's tight. Yeah, not a surprise to see him miss on that side. And you've got the red that feels like it's in your eye line, feels like it's in your potting line. It kind of makes you kind of force the wrong way. And yeah, it was tricky.
Extension called.
Deal with a 3 at the top, land straight in on the one bottom right. Probably the way to go here. You could leave the 2 at the top of the table if he's perfect now. You can certainly make a case for that. And just drop this one in right centre, straight in bottom right, deal with the 2 at the bottom and leave the 2 at the top. Obviously, no real issues connecting the ones at the bottom to the one nearest the top left-hand corner, and obviously connect to the 8 ball from the 2 at the top is absolutely fine. So I certainly get on board with this the way around. Slightly overdone that one. He's left a poor angle on the bottom red, too much angle on the top one. Done with stopping 2 or 3 rolls short of where he is, but may just have to accept what he's got, drop this in dead weight and leave the thinner pot. Oh, he can force the bottom one 2 cushions. Yeah, he's got a bit more angle on the bottom one than I thought. He still would have preferred to have a touch more. But what it means is this isn't a good angle to connect to the one by the yellow. With natural line coming off 1 cushion, takes him above that red, and if he tries to nip it, he's got to really get it. Yeah, so it just kills it in. Didn't try and get good on this red, just killed it in to be on it. That was a nice shot.
Really nicely played. Yeah, lovely touch.
I thought he was going to play that one a little bit firmer, because you could see the natural line he's on there drifts past the red to the same pocket as the one he's just played, but dropped it in dead weight. It was really nice. Well, inside the final 8 minutes of the day, and it's 1-1.
It's a 15-second shot clock. That will be any issue for him if it is to be an issue. It's a great break. How's the split? Well, you couldn't wish for much better.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be reds here. Yellow nearest the bottom left-hand corner is a problem. There is just one awkward one on the right-hand side with reds. How comfortable to drop it in the centre, because he's got the perfect ball to connect to it into the centre. It looks a little bit too far away to play good position, so he's going to have to work that ball out. I don't like the yellows.
Yeah, the yellow bottom left is a huge problem.
Red ball's in play.
Okay, the red to right centre becomes a good last ball. The best ball to connect to is the 8 ball, so that's an option.
Just wonder if he can track through the line here to get to the right side cushion. Take that awkward red on up to the top right. Yeah, that's the plan. It's a lovely shot.
I still think I like the left centre, top right, and then the red drop in the middle. It looks...
I think that red to the middle's too tight, you know, so...
I think that's...
Well, this will tell us, yeah, so it isn't. That's what he's playing.
It might even go to the corner. It might even go long. I think it probably does, and if he should get behind it long, and if it's that awkward in the corner, into the centre, it'll be fine into the corner. And if the 8 ball comes bottom left, even better, because he doesn't have to kind of leave a thin angle, he can just leave it straight in. Oh, he's played for it into the corner, the top right, but that flick on the 8 ball is, well, it's dreamland flick for him.
That is such an incredible flick to get.
Yeah, I didn't see that route, to be honest. He was on this red previously, and I'm with you. If this is the way he wanted to go, he should have taken it 2 shots ago.
Oh, and it stays up.
Oh, that should cost Lewis Roberts.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be Scott Gillespie that's going to take the victory in this match. He's going to take the victory in the group, and then it's going to be a 6-red shootout. Simple pot, extension, time to kill. Oh, heartbreaker for Lewis. 2 frames on the trot where he's perfect shape to win them, and he's missed.
Yeah, chance was there for him.
I think he was just pinching the pocket to hold the cue ball there for the 8 ball bottom left. I think he was just trying to put it on the thick side of the pocket, I think.
Or maybe he didn't have full access to the red to pot heart of the pocket.
Maybe, yeah, it was potentially a little bit tight. It's a tough one for Lewis. He's going to have to deal with that quickly.
Yeah, very quickly, because the match is over. Scott Gillespie has won it, and Scott Gillespie is through to the last 16. A really impressive performance that from Goobsy. A draw and 2 victories secures his passage safely through, and Lewis Roberts will stay right where he is. It's 6-red shootout time for him. It's not a bad break.
This is a good break.
That's perfect. Across that one,
Just needs to hold it together. It's not the end of the world. Set a competitive time. That's not bad, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, miscue.
No.
That'll +5.
And that's going off.
The
Wow.
miscue's killed him.
Wow.
Oh, it's some effort mine from Lewis.
The clocks even went back and go in again.
In it goes.
That's a shame.
We will get an official time. It is such a shame that for Lewis. It just all snowballed for him. Wouldn't go that far.
Just don't overcomplicate things like that. Look, it's mental what can happen.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing though, and now he can go. He basically gets to break twice.
Yeah.
He's got the luxury of time for that. He's okay.
Wow.
Again, luxury of time. That was the right route to go, and
Definitely.
it will get in the victory. It will be a slow 6 red by standards, but it's still going to win by over 10 seconds here for Arfan Dad, who has very much played the clock and has done his job. He gets through against Lewis Roberts. Arfan Dad has come back from the dead. He looked absolutely out of it earlier on in this group.